Welcome, challengers, to the Valor Cup. My name is Vulcan, and with me is Arctic, your shoutcasters entering the quarterfinals right here at our stream room. to be fair. So go on, Arctic. I mean, we have a lot of schedules out here laid out. We have matches, 4 matches actually. So if you look onto the schedule here, our first game would be WLG versus BREN.
Yeah, this is very exciting because this is finally a platform. I mean, we've had streams in the past where we've talked about we've had the AIC, we've had AOV All-Stars, so finally we are going to be giving our local talent the spotlight, that platform to show that they can be the best of the best in the Philippines, and who knows, we might be seeing a potential contender that could represent the Philippines in the future, but of course it'll all depend on how performances go within the matches that we have today.
I mean, we have a lot of things for our local talents here in the Arena Valor, so not just for them, but to our viewers, our challengers who are watching right now. Note that we will be having a special promo giveaway for you guys. During endgame, we will be flashing codes for level 3 Arcana chests. Isn't that a big deal, Arctic?
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. I wish we could get some of that, but of course we're just going to give it to our challengers. Yeah.
So whoever's watching the stream, stay tuned there. It's very exciting games all throughout. This is the quarterfinals, and as Arctic said, who knows, we may have a contender after this quarterfinals.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I absolutely love the Arena Valor community here in the Philippines. I think it's actually quite collaborative. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of the people that are at the top of the ladder. You know, it's like buddy. Everybody, almost everybody knows each other in a way in the community, which is why I feel like it's very pivotal, which is why we've been seeing a lot of growth as far as how our esports industry has been growing for AOV. So, but of course, with that growth, at the back of my mind, I'm wondering, is it going to be enough that we can take it to an international level? Because on a national level, things are just pretty intense. I've seen some of how people have been playing thus far in the Philippines, and man, oh man, I think we could give a number of countries a good run for their money with the amazing talent that we have. I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of these players in these matches today.
I totally agree with you, Arctic, because as the Philippines esports is growing, so is our talent in the esports. And why stop there in the local? We can always aim for the international, and it shows right here. Also, the community, yes, I do agree, very collaborative, very supportive, and this kind of picks me back to BREN Esports, where they're a bunch of solo players who kept meeting each other in ranks and finally formed a team. This is one of the stories we have here entering the quarterfinals, and one of the favorite teams we can say in entering the quarterfinals.
Yeah, meanwhile for We Love Gaming, looks very fresh. I've loved the potential that I've heard about them as of the matches that they've managed to play out and what information that we did get out of some of the teams. So it's going to be quite intense here. But yeah, you have mentioned BREN Esports here. BREN Esports is probably one of my favorite organizations right now as far as mobile esports. They've pretty much been stepping up for quite a number of months now. Finally, they've reached that point wherein, hey, this is finally our time to really show that we can dominate in the mobile esports industry in the Philippines. So I really have very, very high expectations of this team. And of course, for We Love Gaming, I'm wondering how they'll manage to hold out here. But preparation-wise, I'm pretty sure both teams have made all the necessary preparations, all the necessary practice within these past few days to make sure that heading into the quarterfinals, you know, it's going to be a great show.
It will be a great show, not just to us, but to the viewers out there to show us their talent. But Arctic, it is time to go to our match 1. It will be WLG versus BREN Esports. Right off the bat, Zenial being picked off here.
Yeah, no surprise right there. I mean, with the bans, with the Irie as well as the Chognar, not really surprised that we're going to be Zenial first pick as of what competitive games we have that I've managed to catch
Blue team's turn to
locally. Zenial, he's pretty much had a very, very high win rate as far as
not just that, one of the popular picks we can say among the heroes. And for BREN, I just love that they just picked up the Malak and the Lubo. We are seeing a lot of strong initiators in the side of BREN, but now they'll be getting the Jenna and the Joker.
Yes, so far looking somewhat well-rounded here for what We Love Gaming has drafted so far.
Oh my.
We see a support, we see a mage, we see a marksman. Meanwhile, for BREN Esports, I'm loving what I'm seeing here as well. Like you mentioned, there's a lot of set potential, complement that with the utility coming in from the Alice, and then with all said and done, once you have that perfect set, the Zephys to just finish it up, clean everybody off.
I mean, Zephys can be one of those heroes that can be flex. You can go for the assassin or the tanky build. But at this point, looking at BREN's composition, we can safely say that he may go for more damage-oriented. But look at that. Knowing that the Joker is more of a late-scaling hero, we see that they pick up the Fennec to compensate for that early lack of damage. But right now, Arctic, it's exciting to see what can BREN pick it off here. And it would be the Raz to close in that gap.
Interesting. So far, what we do have of We Love Gaming though, looks like they will be running the very typical double marksman composition. And of course with that double marksman, complemented by additional mage damage coming in from the Jinna here.
And not just that, also there's protection from
yes,
the Zinnia.
Definitely. And what I like about this composition from We Love Gaming is Fennec in himself, they are going to be sending him in the jungle based on what I'm seeing here as far as talent taken. So the advantage here is that Fennec, he's a little bit more mobile than most marksmen. Complement that with the fact that his early game damage is pretty decent, and when he takes objectives, that could be pretty good for them, especially if they do get successful ganks across the lanes onto BREN Esports. But then again, for BREN Esports, they have a lot of pick-off potential here, so that's where We Love Gaming has to be very, very careful on the entire battlefield.
Definitely, because We Love Gaming, they have to protect their marksman, and the DPS coming from Joker. So they have the Arthur to be more of a front line, I could say. But if things go really bad, Arctic, we can always rely on that Zenial. For the response, the heal there, the AoE heal, will really help We Love Gaming to sustain the fight that BREN can bring into them. But looking at the composition of BREN Esports, this is very scary, especially for Joker. If he's not very careful with his positioning, he can be picked off.
Exactly, and I'm glad that you brought that up, because with that pickoff on this Joker here, if he falls off so early on, it's going to be so hard for him to transition to later parts, because that's where Joker really shines. Whenever he has at least a decent phase within the earlier part of this game, once he transitions to the late game, he just scales amazingly painfully that it may come to a point wherein before BREN Esports could even get to initiate, the damage would be just too much for them to deal with. Complement that with the Senial in case they do get that dive in. But still, they have to be careful. We Love Gaming has to last out.
Oh my god, he went for that face check. Now 4 members are collapsing on the Buck. Kind of low on health. This Joker is really squished. We just talked about his Arctic, that he has to be careful with his positioning. And right now, looks like we're seeing BREN Esports taking control of the red side of WLG.
Yeah, this is a really good move coming in from BREN Esports. Because of BREN Esports' pick-off potential, there's a little bit more confidence as far as going into the invades go here on the jungle side of WLG.
And now they're facing off against this Arthur. So, knowing that they invaded the red side, BREN Esports going on this jab, and Arthur, he's kind of low on health. He's going back to his turret. He has to heal, and now the tower will help him sustain himself for a while. But we see Malak still wanted to get the first blood here.
Yeah, Arcata really wants
Alice just sets it up, and that is the first blood.
And that was a great play coming in there from BREN Esports. I really liked how they juggled out that damage. And once Beast Boy landed his crowd control, it was a done deal for that first blood.
I mean, I think for the Arthur, he was really depending on his tower to protect him. But when you're talking about 4 heroes collapsing on you, and with the Alice, with the stun, that set up everything here.
Yeah, and this is something that WLG, they want to be careful of as much as possible. They do not, under any circumstances, want to get this Zephys fed. Because if this Zephys gets fed, forget about protecting your backline as far as carries. They're just going to go down in a snap.
I mean, death from above, the ultimate there from Zephys can quickly close in that gap. So, right now, with a great start from WLG, getting the first blood, they know that they have control at the early phases of the game. They will be taking down some objectives, but they will be going for, oh god, he's low on health, and they push him back in. That will be Lubu picking up Fennec, and now that will be another kill. What is going on here for BREN Esports getting that double kill on that Lubu?
Man, and this is beautiful coming in from BREN Esports. For every single pick-off they get, they manage to at least get added value, whether in the form of camps here on the side of WLG. And the more camps that they take, the more behind this Fennec may potentially become. So we're just going to have to see how that works out for him. Take note, that Fennec already has a death onto him. So I think it won't be as fast of a build-up here for WLG as they were anticipated. And BREN Esports, they're just all over this map right there.
They're taking everything from WLG. I agree 100% Arctic that we did say that Fennec can actually compensate for the early game disadvantage or weak damage that the Joker has. But at least at this point, they're fighting back here, getting the kill onto this Joker. So late scaling hero right here. They need to wait it out. But for BREN, they notice with their powerful initiation right there, Death from Above will close in the gap here, and that's Arthur will appeal, and that would be a collapse into the Abyssal Dragon area. Looks like WLG will fight back here. It will be the numbers advantage on their side. With I think for BREN Esports, they will retreat towards their tower. They can re-engage, but it's too risky.
Yeah, that was really well played there by Wheel of Gaming. Sure, BREN Esports, they have the potential to set and just go full collapse onto Wheel of Gaming, but they also have to still respect the damage coming in from a Jaina, coming out from the Joker, coming out from a Fennec, but oh no, Beast Boy.
Look at that, Ross trying to deal some damage there, but Alice gets picked up by the Jaina. Looks like Jeffes, he's really zoning out this Joker, but in the end, it will be him really sweeping around the field.
Exactly, man, oh man, unfortunate pickoff right there onto the Jaina, but still, I'm wondering, Wheel of Gaming, so far at least they were able to recuperate a little bit of lost ground from earlier, as we've seen BREN Esports.
A lot of lost ground, and so to our challengers watching right now, here is the code for the level 3 Arcana chest, and right here, that will be Zenial getting away with a face check, dangerous there, so what is going on for BREN Esports with a great start and still maintaining control of the map? They don't want the members of WLG to feel comfortable.
Exactly, and if you notice, Arcadia has been lingering around the spot side here, spotting out whenever WLG might go for potential takes on Abyssal Dragon, but here comes the team fight.
They want to go on to Malik, but here comes Alice with a stun collapsing there. That will be a bad call, and they get a two-man knockup with the Malik. Here comes the Jaina with the ultimate going in for the damage, and that would be WLG fighting back against the engage of BREN.
Unfortunately, numbers were very, very quick there for BREN Esports to handle, and just a great response coming in from Wheel of Gaming. Unfortunately, Lubu was a little bit way too far off the map to actually get into that fight, so
oh my god, Raz there, really. This is what I love about the Raz pick. He's the one who can control the flow of the fight, provide the CC, provide even the engages that, again, BREN Esports has over the top here.
And you have to take note, this is leather goods we're talking about on Raz,
Arthur.
but oh no.
No, he was under that tower, so he will be taken down here. Joker, no protection there. 4-man again on this bot lane. That is going to be Joker really getting the hurt, feeling the pain that he's kind of weak in the early game. But here, right now, on the blue side of WLG, looks like Lubu with a red stallion there with the CC might just get that double, very close to health. That's in the low on health, and that is going to be the second double kill going to Lubu.
That was just so unfortunate for Wheel of Gaming. From what we saw there, especially in the bot lane, they were a little bit too overextended, a little bit too confident. Sure, they were able to build up a comeback, but not as much as to actually go head-to-head with BREN Esports.
They'll fight back there. Arthur really want to go in for that fight under the tower, but it will be BREN Esports securing that outer blue tower.
And you also have to take note that BREN Esports, I mean, sure, we do see efforts coming in from Wheel of Gaming as far as they did manage to get a few pickoffs here and there with the 4 kills that they managed to rake up. But then again, if you're going to look at the overall as to what BREN Esports has been taking, they've been taking camps, they've been taking turrets, they've taken Abyssal Dragon. So this is why we're seeing such a massive lead starting to build up in favor of BREN Esports. And Wheel of Gaming, they really should just wait for until fights.
I don't think WLG will wait for them. That's going to be a very low call for BREN Esports. They will back off the tower, but they can sustain themselves. Raz, you gotta be careful. You gotta respect that Jaina.
That's what Wheel of Gaming needs to be doing, as far as if they really want to go for fights, they at least have to make sure that the numbers are in their favor. They have all utility in the world to make sure everything goes full circle with the protection of the Joker, protecting the Joker rather, as well as the Fennec. Fennec, he's pretty mobile, so he could easily maneuver around these team fights, and that's a lot of the reason why we did see some of these successful fights for WLG, especially when the numbers were in their advantage. But oh no.
Oh god, Arthur zoning them out, goes into the ultimate to get 2 members of BREN Esports, but they're split up in the blue side. That's going to be Malik going in, and with a 2-man knockup right there, that's low call for WLG, low on health. But look at BREN Esports, they're getting melted by the members of WLG, but the numbers have deteriorated. Now it's in the favor of BREN Esports again. pushing them back to the base.
Man,
Pick up potential pick up. That's close call, but he will go back to base.
yes, close call there from Kuroki. But then again, you also have to take note that a Buck, he's still waiting to build up on items here, so doesn't pack quite the punch just yet. Like I mentioned, you do kind of want to wait for this Joker to scale into probably a little over past the 10-minute mark, around 11 to 13. And you also have to take note that WLG is playing from a position wherein they're behind, so it might take a little bit more time for Buck to just really start becoming the painful marksman that he can.
Man, this is actually, I have to really agree with you there, because Buck, he has to be the one to deal the damage here. At this point, he needs to get his items ready, but he's really behind so far, giving that slight bad start. But not just that, BREN Esports, they know the advantage they have with this composition. Again, may go for a dive here. That robot will not land onto any members of WLG, but they'll gladly take the tower. That's going to be a dive by Lubo with a red stun, and 2-man knock up there, and another dive by Zephys with his ultimate. Will back off. Joker can't do anything. The tower will not kill him. That was a close call though.
Yes, and man, not even a single casualty from the side of BREN Esports,
but a snipe from the brush.
Kuroki, probably not the best place to make a recall, but still a small victory. But then again, that's just a small consolation right there in comparison to what mountain WLG has to climb at this point to get back into this game against BREN
Claw
Esports.
themselves back into this game, Arctic, because this is the quarterfinals. They need to buy themselves time, but at least at this point, we're seeing Buck right now picking up his kills slowly and wrapping up that gold.
And man, this is just so tricky for We Love Gaming right now, because with BREN Esports, with the lead that they have,
Oh god,
they're
Fennec.
able to-
Oh, knocks to the air and gets pulled back by the Ross. He gets eaten up.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Because of the heavy lead that BREN Esports has, they could just easily go in and out. It doesn't even matter how mobile that Fennec is. Once he gets collapsed on and you get a consistent lockdown from BREN Esports, like whoever they manage to pick off, it's just a done deal at that point.
And the Joker doing his poke damage there, trying to, fend up the members of BREN. But yeah, as you said, Arctic, you gotta hand it to the picks of BREN. They have the Malik and the Lubo, not just that, the Alice to really synergize so well with that composition. So WLG, they're so scared, and you're talking about a Jenna that has to go into the fight. Can he survive when he does?
So far, I'm absolutely loving the teamwork coming here from both Leather Goods and Peace Boy, because whenever Leather Goods goes in, he doesn't really have as much worry anymore, because he has that extra protection, that speed boost coming in from Peace Boy, so that it makes it easier for Leather Goods to isolate targets from WLG.
Oh god, looks like BREN, they'll try to take down the last turret in the bot lane. Can they take it? So far, I think WLG, they're trying their best to buy time.
But question is, will they be able to do just that amid such a difficult
Hey,
episode?
look at the damage. Arthur, he's not tanky at all. That would be an easy chunk down. Looks like the members of BREN will be invading the base of WLG without any members down for the count. That will be a slaughter in the base.
Man, oh man, ladies and gents, I think we have a clear winner here for our Game 1, as BREN Esports gonna take it
Well
1-0.
played.
Man, great play indeed, Vulcan.
I gotta say for BREN, just by looking at the first rotations of the picks, Alubu and Amalok really shined here, providing so much pressure. But again, we have to congratulate BREN Esports for winning our Game 1.
Yeah, and I also got to hand it to BREN Esports. They were very proactive within the earlier parts of the game. Sure, there were instances where WLG was able to get pickoffs, but the rotations were just so fluid, and they were able to build up to a point wherein we saw that last clash right there. On paper, by textbook, that was what WLG rather should be doing. It's just that because of how far behind they were playing so behind that it didn't even matter if positioning was on point, because BREN Esports, they were just so overwhelming at that point.
Just goes to show, I mean, from that face check of Buck really caused them to have fear. And you can see right now the endgame stats, battle stats here for our Game 1 of Match 1. So far, it looks like WLG, they have a lot of things to work here against BREN Esports.
Man, and I'm wondering how this is going to go for We Love Gaming, because looking at how BREN Esports play that out, there's a lot of there's clearly a flexibility as to far what they can do here. We did see that I mean, for those of you that are familiar with some of the more known players, I guess, within our AOV scene, Leathergoods, for example, he's pretty much known to be one of the ultimate Raz players in the Philippines, and I think that was a clear demonstration right there. And like I mentioned, I was such a fan of how that was complemented with the Alice in order to get pickoffs, and then it was just all a matter of whether it was Lubu there or Zephys to just clean up whoever gets isolated by Leathergoods there.
The setup was there with the Alice and the Raz, yes, right there, and that gave them enough momentum to secure a game on. But I think for challengers, we've showed the level 3 Arcana chest, but we also have something else in store, the heroes and skin codes.
Yes.
At the end of our stream. But tune in for that, challengers, and we'll be back after a short break. My name is Vulcan. With me was Arctic. We were your shoutcasters for the Valor Cup quarterfinals. See you after the short break.